Hey, what's up, guys? So I have three things that I want to talk about in this video. First is outing. Second is gender affirming language, and third is birth name. So, first with outing, don't don't out your trans friends. Just don't do it. Um, I had one of my friends, and he didn't do it intentionally. I know that he wasn't trying to be malicious or anything like that, but he outed me to some of his friends that I've met and interacted with, and I'm pretty sure have been stealthed with them. Um, and he was talking about me and how I'm trans and my transition and whatnot, and I don't have an issue talking to people about it. Like, if someone were to come up to me or if someone has questions, I definitely don't have a problem talking to people about it because I love to talk. I have no issue with that. So I would pretty much answer any question that anyone has for me if they came to me for it. But don't it's not anyone else's place to out me and talk about my personal business. I think it would have been different if he were to say it as like, oh, I have a friend who is transgender, because then that's not giving any specifics, that's not creating a link between me and being trans, but it's just saying in general. And I don't have an issue with that. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, but I think once you make the connection between a person and their trans identity, that's where I have a problem, and that's where I think is a big no-no. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. And if you think about it this way, I know they're not really related, but you can make the connection that if one of your friends had a disability or a health condition, are you going to go around and say, oh yeah, so and so, they're my friend who has, you know, epilepsy, or they're my friend who has cancer, or they're my friend who has, I don't know, Crohn's disease, something, just anything like that. It's not really your place to make the connection between them and a disease or disorder. So don't do that. Okay, second thing is language and gender affirming language. People say or the saying goes that sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And I honestly think that that is a load of crap. It's a load of crap. Words can be hurtful. Um, Whether they're intentionally meant to be hurtful or unintentional, words are hurtful. So be careful with the words that you're using. Just two examples that I have of that: my mom and I got into a fight, and we talked about it afterwards and later, but she told me she knowingly called me a bitch because she said she knew how much it would hurt me. Um, and it did. It destroyed me. It was the biggest slap in the face that I could have been dealt, because I don't know, to call a guy a bitch. I mean, my friends and I joke around saying it, but that's not really being serious with it, and she was being serious with it and had meaning to it. So that really hurt me. She probably could have said anything else and it wouldn't have hurt as much as her calling me a bitch, because it contradicts. You know, I'm a guy. I'm not a girl. Don't call me bitch. And I've had incidences with family and whatnot who do know through my mom that I am transgender. I need to get around to sending them an email and formally coming out myself, but they do know, they are aware of it, and this is kind of more along the unintentional lines, but they've used language that I've been hanging out with aunts and whatnot, and aside from me, I'm with all female bodied, female identified relatives, and excuse me, they have used the sayings like, oh, come on, girls, or like, it's the ladies are hanging out and stuff like that. And why are you using those terms? Like, I'm not a lady, I'm not a girl. Don't include me in that. If there was, a male-bodied, male-identified cousin there in that situation, they wouldn't use that language, so why would they use it for me? That was kind of frustrating, and it was something that I didn't bring up at the time. I'm not very good at, I guess, confronting these things when people make mistakes, when people use kind of offensive or hurtful language towards me. Like I said, intentional, or usually for the most part it's unintentional. I'm not good at addressing that. So it's something that I need to work on and just kind of suck it up and be like, hey, listen, please don't do that. It's disrespectful to me. And that sort of thing. Third is birth name. Alright. Don't use someone's birth name. Don't use a trans person's birth name. To refer to them, bringing it up, maybe not referring to them, but just kind of making the connection that, oh, this used to be your name, but now you go by this. Don't bring it up. It's, we change our names, we go by different names because we don't want to hear our birth names. We don't want to have any connection to that. That's not who we are. So don't bring that up. It's a name that contradicts our identity, so don't use it. And I have a friend who I was introduced to her girlfriend as Aaron, as I should be, because that's my name. And a few times when we were hanging out, she brought up my birth name. And again, like, I didn't say anything there, and I'm kicking myself now for not doing it. But just don't use a birth name like that. It sucks to hear that. It sucks hearing a birth name. If your friend just comes out as trans and says, this is the name that I'm now going by, if you slip up every once in a while when you're trying to get used to the new name, like, hey, that happens. If you've known a person for however long by a certain name, like, and then you have to call them by something different, like, obviously it's not going to be an instant, the next day you're all the time without thinking calling them by their chosen name. I understand that happens, but after you've gotten comfortable, after you're used to using their chosen name, don't bring up their birth name. Like, that's a hard thing to hear. Like, we don't want to hear it. That's, it's almost just as bad as using, female pronouns. Don't refer to me with female pronouns. Don't refer to me by my birth name. Like, just don't do it. So yeah, those are 3 things that I've just, have kind of been bugging me lately. I just wanted to talk about it, and they're just three general no-nos, I guess, when, interacting with people who are transgender. So that's that. I hope this video is informative to people who are kind of new with interacting with trans people, Just kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Yield to those three things, heed to those three things. I don't know. Do those three things, or don't do those three things, and that's that. Everything should be good to go then. Alright guys, so I will see you probably sometime next week. Probably make another video after I do my shot and whatnot. But yeah, alright, catch you later.